In today's video, we'll be recapping Stranger Things Season 4 as we get ready for the release of Season 5. And let's jump right into it. In a flashback to 1979, Dr. Brenner is experimenting on children with supernatural abilities when a mysterious incident kills all of the children except 11. In March 1986, 8 months after the events at Starcourt Mall, Joyce Byers, Jonathan, and 11 have moved to California, where 11 struggles with the loss of her powers and is bullied by other students. Joyce receives a porcelain doll in the mail, seemingly from Russia, and finds a hidden note claiming that Jim Hopper is alive. In Hawkins, Mike Wheeler and Dustin have joined their high school's Hellfire Club, a Dungeons & Dragons club led by Eddie Munson. As a result, they miss seeing Lucas win the basketball team's championship game. Max, who has broken up with Lucas, struggles to grieve Billy's death. Chrissy Cunningham, a cheerleader, is haunted by visions of her abusive mother and a chiming grandfather clock. While buying drugs from Eddie, Chrissy is possessed and killed by a sentient humanoid creature. A flashback reveals that Hopper survived the explosion underneath Starcourt Mall but was captured by Soviet soldiers and sent to a prison camp in Kamchatka. Joyce and Murray call the phone number on the note she was sent and speak to Dmitry Antonov, a prison guard whom Hopper has bribed. Antonov tells them to deliver a $40,000 ransom to his contact in Alaska. Mike flies to California to visit 11, where he and will witness her being bullied by her classmate Angela. 11 retaliates by striking Angela in the face with a roller skate. Max tells Dustin she saw Eddie run from his trailer the night that Chrissy died there. Along with Robin and Steve Harrington, they locate the traumatized Eddie and explain the upside down to him. Eddie and Dustin name the entity that killed Chrissy Vecna. Nancy and her fellow student reporter Fred investigate Chrissy's death. Eddie's uncle tells Nancy he believes the killer is Victor Creel, a Hawkins resident who was institutionalized after allegedly murdering his family in the 1950s, as the details of those deaths match those of Chrissy's death. Fred has visions of a student he accidentally killed, luring him into the woods where Vecna kills him. Sam Owens is visited by U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Jack Sullivan, who believes 11 is responsible for Chrissy's death. 11 is arrested for assaulting Angela but is taken by Owens. He explains that Hawkins is in grave danger and that he has been working on a program to help bring back 11's powers, and she agrees to go with him. Joyce and Murray fly to Alaska to deliver the ransom for Hopper. Hopper bribes a fellow inmate to break his shackles using a sledgehammer. Nancy and Robin look up information about Victor Creel in the library and discover that he claimed a demon, which they believe to be Vecna, murdered his family. Chrissy's boyfriend Jason Carver leads the basketball team to hunt for Eddie, believing that he killed Chrissy, but Lucas abandons them. Max recalls that Chrissy had visited the school counselor before being killed by Vecna. She steals Chrissy's and Fred's files from the counselor's office and learns they suffered from PTSD symptoms similar to hers. Max hears Vecna call her name and sees a grandfather clock, deducing that Vecna plans to kill her as well. Joyce and Murray deliver the ransom payment to Antonov's contact Yuri, but he drugs them, planning to turn them, and Hopper and Antonov, over to the Russians for a larger profit. Yuri has contacted Russian authorities who capture Hopper after his escape from the prison camp and arrest Antonov, Jonathan, Mike, and will prepare to sneak away from the agents assigned to guard them, but armed soldiers attack the house. They escape with the help of Jonathan's friend Argyle, bringing a wounded agent, Harmon, with them. Nancy and Robin interview an imprisoned Victor Creel, who recounts his family being tormented and killed by supernatural forces while he was arrested for their deaths. Max, fearing that Vecna is about to kill her, writes letters to her friends and family and goes to the cemetery to read her letter to Billy by his gravestone. She is soon possessed by Vecna and finds herself at an altar inside his mind. Steve, Dustin, and Lucas learn from Nancy and Robin that playing music can break Vecna's spell, and they play Max's favorite song over headphones on a cassette tape. This opens a portal through which Max narrowly escapes Vecna's control. Owens takes 11 to an abandoned ICBM silo in Nevada, where he and Dr. Brenner have developed a specialized isolation tank, dubbed Nina, that will allow 11 to access memories of her time with other children at Hawkins' lab. After her first time in the tank, 11 attempts to escape and temporarily regains her powers in the process, convincing her to continue with the experiment. In California, before Agent Harmon dies, he gives the boys a pen containing a phone number for the Nina project that connects to a modem. They need Dustin's girlfriend Susie in Salt Lake City to help find the location. After Yuri's betrayal, Hopper is imprisoned alongside Antonov. While flying to Russia, Joyce and Murray subdue Yuri and crash-land in the wilderness. Max, Lucas, Steve, and Dustin regroup with Nancy and Robin and decide to investigate the Creel house. Inside, they encounter flickering lights, which they trace to Vecna's movements in the Upside Down. Jason and his teammates locate Eddie trying to escape in a boat at Lover's Lake. Jason and his teammate Patrick swim after him, and Jason and Eddie witness Vecna killing Patrick high above the water. 11 relives memories of befriending a lab orderly, who warns her not to trust Brenner. She also recalls being threatened by other test subjects, leading her to believe she was responsible for the lab massacre. Susie helps Mike's group locate the Nina Project's coordinates. Hopper and the other inmates are given a large feast, which Hopper warns is to prepare them to be fed to the Demogorgon. He later manages to steal a lighter from a guard, recalling that the Demogorgon's weakness is fire. Joyce and Murray force Yuri to take them to a nearby town where he stores his contraband and decide to have Murray pose as Yuri to infiltrate the prison. Jason galvanizes Hawkins' residents at a town hall meeting against Eddie's supposed satanic cult, the Hellfire Club. Steve's group finds Eddie. Dustin notices that his compass is behaving erratically and surmises that there must be a new gate to the Upside Down nearby. They trace the gate to Lover's Lake, where Eddie had been hiding. Steve dives down to inspect it before being yanked into the Upside Down by a tendril and swarmed by bat-like creatures. Nancy, Robin, and Eddie dive down after him. Joyce, Murray, and Yuri enter Kamchatka and witness Hopper and his fellow prisoners fighting the Demogorgon. Hopper holds the creature back with a flaming spear while Murray and Joyce subdue the guards and open the prison doors, allowing Hopper and Antonov to escape. Joyce and Hopper reunite. Dustin, Lucas, and Erica theorize that Vecna has spawned a gate at the site of each murder, which they communicate to Steve's group in the Upside Down. Both parties reunite inside Eddie's trailer at the gate where Chrissy died. Robin and Eddie safely exit, but Vecna possesses Nancy before she can leave the Upside Down. She discovers that he is Victor Creel's son Henry, who killed his mother and sister with his psychokinetic powers before falling into a coma and being placed in Brenner's care. Henry became Subject 001 as Brenner attempted to replicate his powers, and later became the orderly that 11 befriended. 11 remembers Henry committing the lab massacre and trying to kill her when she refused to help fulfill his predatory ambitions. She overpowered him and accidentally sent him to the Upside Down, or he became Vecna. Before releasing Nancy, Vecna shows her a vision of an apocalyptic future Hawkins taken over by the Upside Down. The group determines Vecna needs 4 gates to enact his plan. Max offers to lure Vecna into possessing her so the others can attack him while he is distracted. 11, using her powers, learns of this plan and gets Owens to arrange transit to Hawkins. Brenner betrays Owens and secures him, and traps 11, insisting she needs to complete her training. 11 realizes that Brenner had been using her to try to recover Henry from the Upside Down. Sullivan and his forces arrive at the site and kill all the staff. Brenner flees with 11 but is shot by a helicopter sniper. Sullivan's crew tries to kill 11 from a helicopter, but she uses her powers to stop them. She does not confirm to Brenner that she understands his motives and says goodbye to him before he dies. Will encourages Mike to fight for his relationship with 11, concealing his own feelings for Mike in the process, and they reunite with 11. In Russia, Hopper, Joyce, Murray, Yuri, and Antonov escape the base after discovering several more creatures from the Upside Down, as well as a shadowy fragment of the Mind Flayer, understudy at the prison. The Hawkins group enacts their plan. Max, Lucas, and Erica go to the Creel house while Steve, Nancy, and Robin go to its upside-down counterpart to attack Vecna, as Dustin and Eddie draw away the bat-like creatures. Eddie sacrifices himself in the process. 11's group creates an isolation tank to enable her to enter Max's mind and fight Vecna, but Vecna overwhelms her and possesses Max, revealing to 11 that he has controlled the Upside Down ever since she sent him there, and created the Mind Flayer. Mike professes his love to 11, giving her the strength to break Vecna's control over Max, but after interference from Jason, Max dies from her injury. Hopper, Joyce, and Murray re-enter the prison and kill the remaining Demogorgons, weakening Vecna. Steve, Robin, and Nancy set Vecna's physical form ablaze and shoot him, apparently killing him. 11 uses her powers to revive Max, but because of Max's brief death, Vecna's gates open and tear through Hawkins, killing Jason. 2 days later, the town is recovering from a so-called earthquake. Everyone unites, while Max remains comatose. 11 tries to reach her mind but only finds a black void. The town begins to recover as everyone pitches in at the school. Robin and Vicky finally get a quiet moment to talk. While handing out water, Dustin notices Eddie's uncle putting up another missing poster. He approaches him and gently explains how Eddie died bravely, heroically, saving others in the end. The group returns to Hopper's cabin, where Hopper and 11 share an emotional reunion. But peace doesn't last long. Will feels it, Vecna is still alive. The others watch in shock as the Upside Down starts to seep into Hawkins. This is the beginning of the end. Thanks for watching this recap. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.